Alright, hello and welcome everyone to my first training vlog video. We'll see how this goes, first time trying it. So I've got a basic setup going, recording on my phone, and I'm going to go into screen share on my laptop to run through my training on Strava, and I'm going to throw up some kind of b-roll footage of things I've been doing as well. So fingers crossed this all comes out looking okay, sound quality and everything is passable. I'm not trying to be professional here, but trying to get a basic setup that I can use and isn't too much hassle. Right, so I'm just going to do a quick overview of what my training has been for the past year. If you haven't watched my very first video, my only video on the channel up to this point, I would very highly recommend going and watching that. And if I can figure out how to do it, I'll put something up in one of the corners that you can click on to go and watch that, because that talks through everything that's been happening over the last year. I've had an injury, I'm coming back from that. I've never run 100 miles, but I have done ultra marathons, and my ambition is to get back fighting fit and get back training and get to the stage where I can run and complete a 100-mile run. But 100% go and watch that for the background. I thought I'd just run through on Strava very quickly before I get into the training from the last couple of weeks, what's happened over the kind of last year. So here, hopefully this is all working and you can see this. This was last July 2024 when I ran the furthest race I've done, a 100-kilometer race, the Race to the Stones, 100 kilometers along the Ridgeway. So I'm just going to very quickly, just run through. So since then, I kind of took a bit of a backseat. I mean, I was still doing runs, but I wasn't training for anything. And that gradually fell off, doing more walking and running. We went away to the USA for a nice holiday where I did no running, lots of walking and hiking and trekking and things. And then came back, and my longest run after that the longest I was doing was kind of 5-6 miles, as you can see on these ones. I was never doing kind of like long runs that I used to be doing in training. They were all just kind of like an hour or less. That carried on until we went to Thailand in March time. And you can see here, so I was doing lots of other things. I play a lot of golf, I was doing a lot of walking, I was doing yoga, I was doing some strength training. Not in any kind of structured sense, I was just doing each one a few times a week, a couple of times a week. So I was still getting reasonable mileage in terms of walking and things. A round of golf was 5 or 6 miles. So there was some fitness there, but it wasn't cardio fitness. I was never getting my heart rate up, and the running was very limited. But then we went to Thailand. My intention was when I came back from Thailand, I was going to springboard back into training. But you can see here, this Muay Thai class, Thai kickboxing. A few days after that, I did weight training, and that evening my Achilles went. I couldn't walk. I was in I could hobble, but it was agony to walk. I went to a doctor out there at a clinic, and basically just said, you need to just rest it for a couple of weeks. So as you can see here, did nothing for 2 weeks. Luckily we're in a very nice villa with a very private pool, so I would kind of just relax reading a book by the pool and chill inside watching TV for a bit, basically just resting. We'd still go out for like dinner and things. We had a scooter, so I'd kind of drive and just hobble into the restaurant. So it wasn't too bad. We were in a very nice space. After a couple of weeks I tried some weight training, so just upper body, wasn't using my foot. And then just before we went home, I did some paddleboarding. We did go on a snorkeling trip here as well, which was really good. And I was doing swimming and things. Obviously we had a pool, so that was good. I could do that without inflaming the Achilles at all. We got back home and I tried golf. It was quite painful during these first few rounds, but I kind of just pushed through. And then I kind of started getting back into lots of walking, basically. I didn't try any running. And I was building up the mileage in my walks. It was still, I could tell whenever I started to do a little run. So on the golf course, sometimes I do a little run to go and get a stray ball or something, and I could feel it kind of flaming up. Here is my first run, which was just a tester run, a mile, and it was okay. And then I did another one, I think. Yeah, another one here where it was a little tester and it was kind of okay, and I was starting to build back in. And then I went away where is it? Yeah, this is it. So I went to London for a few days for work, and was doing, it was stupid. I was doing kind of 20,000 steps a day in the wrong shoes, and basically it flared up again, and then effectively I had another week kind of doing nothing, just letting it rest, and this was a few weeks ago, and basically reset it, started again. Since then though, it's not as bad as it was the first time. I've been to see a physio, and we are building back now, and I've done my first run since inflaming it again. This is the last 2 weeks, so I'll get into that training. Very quickly though, I just want to show just running to give you an idea. If I go to 2024, Race to the Stones, so this was the last run, just to give you an idea of what my actual running has been like. So this was prior, kind of like 3, 4, 5 runs a week consistently for months and months and months. Here's the race, kind of burnt out a bit, very sporadic running, not long mileage, but still doing some runs, ticking over. I don't know why there was a huge gap there. Oh, that's when we were in America on holiday. Lots of hiking, lots of walking. Through the winter, I had a little burst here where I decided I was going to do something, a run every day, even if it was just a mile for a while. And then carried on going until we hit, this is it. This is when I injured my Achilles in Thailand. And since then, just no running at all. We did one little 1 mile tester run here, 1 mile tester run here, injured it again, took a bit more time. And then this was last week, and this was today. So that's kind of in the future of this training thing. So we're just building back in. So that's why I'm claiming it's a couch to 100 mile, because for the past 6-7 months, I've basically done no running, just a lot of walking and golf and strength training and things. Right, so that's that kind of brief history. Obviously I won't be doing this every training vlog, I'll just be focusing on the past 2 weeks, but I think it's important just to show what's led up to this point. Yeah, so this is the last 2 weeks. So I made the first video I made was on this afternoon walk here, is when I recorded it, and I released it on this weekend. So since then, the last 2 weeks, I think I'm going to put one of these out every 2 weeks, so fortnightly overview. So I've been doing lots of activities, but there's only one run in this entire fortnight period, which is fine. It's the fact that I've managed to do a run, and I got through it with very little pain, and I've gone on and actually done a run today. This is Monday, and that was pain-free as well, is amazing. We can start building from here now. I'm going to start building up the mileage. But going back to this fortnight, so I'll obviously throw some footage up as well that I have. So we started out, my wife and I booked like a nice cabin on the lake at Cotswold Lakes for a few days, just for a little treat, a getaway. It was glorious weather in like the several weeks leading up to it. Typically when we arrived, it was quite rainy and overcast and windy, but we made the most of it. We still had an amazing time. And while we were there, we went on some walks. We did lots of, so as I say, we're on the lake, you'll see from the footage. We had a kayak and a paddleboard. So we went out on the lake at least once a day and did kind of some laps, and we found this nice kind of quiet, secluded little spot of the larger lake, which was really nice and sheltered because it was quite windy. We couldn't actually get out into the middle of the lake, of the larger lake for a lot of time because it was so choppy. But yeah, we had a great time. I was mainly in the kayak. I wasn't sure being on the paddleboard because it's very much balance and using your ankle all the time and your foot, if that was going to be great for the Achilles. So I mainly went in the kayak, and then Nita was on the paddleboard. And yeah, we just had a great time paddling around. We did some work while we were out there, did some nice walks, and it was just a really nice, relaxing time. So that was good. So that's these first few days on here. I have no idea why this kayaking session is a different color and different size to this, but there we go. And then you can see I play golf, try and play golf twice a week. So each one of them is kind of 5 or 6 miles, which is great, very base level training. Just getting in the miles each week. Obviously not great for training for like short distances, 5K, 10Ks and things, but when you're training for ultra marathons, I think any mileage is good, even if it's walking. I've started implementing, I've been doing strength training fairly consistently, but I'm going to be more focused on it now in terms of making sure I get 2 dedicated strength training sessions in a week. And by that, I mean kind of actually lifting weights and doing core and that type of thing, but with resistance with weights. And then this week I started doing, I've called it yoga, but it's kind of just, I don't do the breathing exercise and things, so I guess you could call it Pilates or just stretching. I call it morning movements, which can sound a bit dodgy, but I do my morning movements every weekday morning now, which I'll throw up a picture actually of just the exercise that it involves at the moment. But it's basically just going through the body, doing kind of like child's pose, downward dog, some planks, push-ups, squats, just that type of thing, just getting the body moving and throwing in a few exercises to strengthen the foot and the legs and things, just to build up that skeletal and muscular strength. And yeah, so in this period I went to the physio again. So that was Wednesday. So I went I went on this day, and it was a really good session. Basically the pain was kind of non-existent, just generally walking around at this point. Again, so he gave me a couple of weeks before this, a physio to run through every other day. It's only about 10 to 15 minutes that it took to go through. That's not on Strava. But I was just doing that every other day, which was just basic things like calf raises and ankle movement. So drawing the alphabet with your feet and things, just to gradually build that strength up. And he gave me a kind of slightly more advanced set in this session. So 1-legged foot heel raises, calf raises, rather than 2-footed, and some piston squats, and a few different exercises as well. If I can find out a way to do it, I'll throw up the actual sheet that he gave me. But he also said in this session that I was good to start running again, which is what I wanted to hear. And he suggested doing it based on kind of a scale of effort. So from 0 to 20, 16 being like a race, 4 being like a walk. And I guess either side of them is just the extremes, but we're focusing between 4 and 16. And he suggested I start out just doing 20 minutes at kind of like a 6 or a 7, which is a very easy run, which for me, I count at about 11-minute miles, 10 to 11-minute miles. And then just gradually build from there. So either building in time, staying at the same pace, or staying at the same time but increasing pace, and doing that basically every other day. So I did my first run here, which went well. So it was just 20 minutes. It says elapsed time. Oh no, it's morning yoga, that's why. Let's click into this. Yeah, so it was just nice and steady. As you can see, just shy of 20 minutes, because I planned for me doing 11-minute miles, I went slightly quicker, 10-minute 45 miles. So very easy, very steady. I did do a very short walk for about 20-30 meters just when it started to ache a bit more. But he said, as long as it doesn't go above a 4 out of 10 on the pain scale, which I always find quite confusing because pain is very subjective. But I'm just treating it as if it hurts too much. I kind of ease back. But he says, as long as it doesn't go above a 4 on the pain scale, I can keep going, and I should keep going. And if it gets to a 4, just walk for a bit and see, and just let it kind of lower in the scale, and then I can start running again and run walk to get home if I need to. And if I do get up to a 4, then just ease off, either like reduce the load, so either reduce the distance I'm running or reduce the pace for the next run, and just manage it that way. And if I have 2 runs in a row where it's very low, like a 1 or a 2, then I can then up the load. So hopefully that will continue and we can just keep on doing that. So we did that here, excellent. The next run will be in the next training cycle, but I went for a run today, which is the Monday up here, and that went really well as well. And then yeah, we've just been doing the strength training. I did some walking yesterday. We went into town for some brunch, just did some walking things. So overall, everything is going really well for the first 2 weeks coming back from injury. I'm taking things quite slowly. Today especially, it was very tempting to just carry on running or to speed up, but I made sure I didn't do that. So I got in and I was pain-free Very, very, very slight ache, but not much more than I would expect on a normal run. So everything is looking good. And I have also signed up for my first race back. So a 10K race. I've forgotten what it is, but it's in about 8 or 9 weeks, which I'm doing with Anita, my wife. So that'll be really good fun. It'll be my first race in ages since last July, when I did the 100K. So just getting back into a racing atmosphere will be really good. I won't be racing it. I'm just gonna be kind of jogging around. But just being back at a race, being in that atmosphere and building back up, being able to run 10K again will be really, really good. And the other good thing is I touch wood, as long as the training keeps going well, in a couple of weeks I'll be doing parkrun again. Again, slow to start with and gradually building it back up, but that will be really good. So yeah, that's just a very quick overview of the training from the last couple of weeks. As I say, these will be fortnightly things. I will try and throw footage up whenever I can, and obviously these will get hopefully a lot more interesting once my fitness starts coming back up and we can start entering regular races and working towards ultras and going on big training weekends in the mountains and all of that amazing stuff where I can get some really nice kind of like gorgeous, exciting footage and things for you. And I'll also try and improve the backdrop for you. But for now, this is the setup we have. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Let me know how your training is getting on, what you're working towards. I was really surprised actually, the first ever video that I put out, I expected to get no views, no interactions. It got some views, some people commenting, people from Arizona, people in the UK training for marathons. Incredible stuff. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's great to have people interacting so soon, and hopefully we can keep building that and build a community. The other thing I'll say is, if you want to follow me on Strava, I will drop my Strava link in the description below. Yeah, if you want to follow me, follow it, and we'll follow back, and we kind of get a little bit of a community or something going, which will be great. So thank you for watching. Please drop a like, subscribe, all of that kind of YouTube good stuff, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks. Goodbye.